Hey friends, it's Therese and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me talking about my top 10 5-star predictions of 2021. Now I chose 10 books, as if that's not in the title. I chose some books. Some have been released in 2020, some are being released in 2021, and some have been released way before that. These are books I'm hoping to get to during this year, and I'm hoping will be 5-star predictions, which I feel like is just kind of a game of chicken sometimes. When you're like, yeah, it's gonna be a 5-star read for me, you have to figure out who's gonna give up first, your guess for the 5-star read or you reading the book. It made sense in my head when I was thinking about it, and now saying the words aloud, it made no sense. So to save myself further embarrassment, I'm gonna just get into the books. So starting off with a book that I am currently in the middle of and is on my January TBR, that is Where Dreams Send by Janella Angelis. This is a YA high fantasy novel featuring this basically a fire dancer breather. It's basically like a weird mix of, like, from what I'm seeing, like a better version of Caraval mixed with The Night Circus, and someone said Moulin Rouge, but I haven't seen that movie so I really couldn't tell you. But that's kind of what I'm getting from this, and my friend Sarah and I are buddy reading this book. This came out in 2020 with the sequel set to come out in 2021. I'm like literally almost done. And like, judging from where I am at the current point, it's a 5-star read for me. And unless something happens like the last 100 pages of this book, that'll drop it to like a 4 or 4.5. Definitely on the 5-star radar, and it's probably going to be a new favorite for the year. So high hopes for this and high hopes for the series. It's also authored by a Filipino-American author, so like, yay. The next book is another book that's been authored by another Filipino, and that is Monstrous by Leslie Tenorio. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. From what I can recall of this, it's an anthology series of like Filipinos in different parts of the world. So I think one's in Hollywood, one's in the Philippines, and so on and so forth. I have been looking for this book for a while, and my friend, who is now my roommate, found this at a secondhand bookshop and like bought it for me, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I'm really hoping I love this book because it just seems like right up my alley. Like, sometimes like anthologies don't work out for me, but like I'm gonna make this one fit because it seems really interesting. At least I think it's an anthology. I could be really wrong. It seems like an anthology. I'll let you guys know in a review when I read this book whether or not it was an anthology. The next book is a historical fiction novel, and that is Alexander the Great, a novel by Nikos Kazantzakis, which is translated by Theodore Vasils. Wow. When I bought this book at a secondhand bookstore, I thought it was gonna be like a historical telling of Alexander the Great's life, like kind of like very factual, which I was looking for because, you know, I need more nonfiction to ingest in my life, and whatever that form may be, I will accept it. And then I like flipped through it, and it's like a narrative, and it seems really interesting. So I'm kind of interested to see how they have characterized Alexander the Great's character. Really, the only thing I know about this guy is that he was a great conqueror, and he slept with a copy of the Iliad under his pillow next to his knife, and he highly shipped Patroclus and Achilles. So like, I feel like just judging from those characteristics alone, I would enjoy learning about his character, but I need to do a little bit more research, like some base like Wikipedia searches, just so I can have an understanding of who he is as a person before I jump into a fictional retelling of his life. Or at least what I think is a fictional retelling of his life. I haven't decided yet. The next book is one that I'm actually pretty excited for, and I'll probably read around like the October, like the spoopy seasons, and that is The Uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. If you guys do not know what this is about, hi, hello, welcome to my channel. I reread Dorian Gray at least once a year, so you'll probably be hearing a lot about this book in the near future and in continuous futures as you continue to follow my channel. This is a classic gothic novel following a young man named Dorian Gray who becomes enamored with the idea of staying immortal forever, or like young forever, after seeing his portrait be painted. Why I'm gesturing to my blank wall, I do not know. This is where the portrait is. And so he sells his soul so that way he can stay forever young. However, he soon finds out that with every sin he commits, he remains beautifully young, about like the age of like what, 18, 20, while his portrait, again gesturing to the blank wall next to me, which is the metaphorical portrait, will continue to age and grow and become more decrepit due to his sins. Again, it's one of my favorite classics. Like, I have 2 other copies, so I'm really excited to get into this, and hopefully I love it just as much as like the original version, because like technically this is the original version. The uncensored is the original version. It's the version that was apparently too gay and too sexual for the Victorian era to really enjoy. So they asked Oscar Wilde to change it and make it more PG-13. The next book on this is a retelling, and that is Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This is a retelling of the Trojan War through the eyes of all the women in the Trojan War. I have heard nothing but good things about this retelling. I'm super excited. I haven't had a good Greek myth retelling in a few years, like, or at least a new one. I've reread Song of Achilles to death. I've reread Circe. No, I need to reread Circe. My bad. And then like a couple of other, like the Percy Jackson, but like none that specify just in the Trojan War retellings. I want to read this book so badly. It's been on my TBR for a hot minute. My only issue is that I have not read the original Iliad just quite yet, so I'm not entirely sure of like the references that they'll be throwing out in there. So like I need to find a pretty cover of the Iliad to match my pretty cover of the Odyssey, and if y'all have any suggestions, please send them my way, because it would be really helpful otherwise, so I can go ahead and read this book. But that is the goal, is to read the Iliad before reading this, and I have to read this in 2021, so like clearly I have to find the Iliad at some point. When that point is, I do not know, but it's fine. It's fine. This next one is a 2021 release, and that comes out literally in March, and that is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the sequel to Chain of Gold, which follows the Infernal Devices children in the Edwardian period, following a lot of different kind of kooky things happening, and our wonderful Cordelia Carstairs. It's hard to explain, primarily because there's so much going on within the last hours that I think you have to have read the Infernal Devices to really have a full grasp as to like the different nuances that is occurring within this book, which I feel like if I tried to explain would be very confusing. So we'll just leave it at, it follows the Infernal Devices kids in Edwardian London. There's some things going on. Cordelia comes to London to avoid problems that is going on back in her homeland because of her father's potential problems, unbeknownst to her, and then things ensue and things roll down the hill and things happen and people fall in love. That's about as accurate as I can get. And by people, I mean Therese. Therese falls in love with Anna Lightwood, and I will marry Anna Lightwood with all my heart and chest. The next one is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is her, another one of her new releases is coming out in 2021. I'm super excited. It's another historical fiction novel. I feel like it's probably based on like Elvis's kids, just judging by like, I don't know, the vibe of like the name somehow gives me like Elvis vibes. I don't know. But it follows these 2 rock stars' kids who are known for throwing this really huge party once a year, and things ensue during this head party, and there's drama as there usually is, and things happen, and la da 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 da. I don't know much about the book, and I feel like sometimes with like, especially like Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, in order for you to really like marinate in it, you have to kind of like not know a lot about it, which is like a double-edged sword in most scenarios. The next book is another 2021 release, and it's already out, and that is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This is another Greek myth retelling, I'm assuming, just judging by the fact that Medusa's on the cover and it's called Lore, so. But that's all I know, and honestly that's kind of all I want to know, judging by like probably the extremes of this book. So excited for this one, and I feel like it's going to be a 5-star read, because like, just look at it. And then come back when you get to know me a bit more, and then take a look back at the book, and then tell me like why you think I would think this would be a 5-star read, because it's like, I feel like it's fairly obvious at some point. The next one, I'm not entirely sure on the author's name, because I've only seen the cover, and the cover is gorgeous. So give me 1 second. Nocturna. Oh, here we go. The next one is Nocturna by Maya Motain. This is the first book in a series, and the cover is absolutely gorgeous. I kind of want to get like I think there's a black version of this book, like a black cover, so I'll have to see. But it's basically set in a Latinx-inspired world. Face-changing thief and a risk-taking prince team up to destroy a powerful evil they accidentally unleashed. I don't know why, but I would like this to be very gay. But it looks really interesting. I believe my friend Kate from Yatita Kate has read this book and has said nothing but good things about it, and said that I would probably enjoy it, so like, I need it. Case in point. Whatever Kate likes, I will most likely like. It feels like it's always been the case with how whatever else she's recommended to me, I've always ended up enjoying it. So, we go and listen to Kate, and then read the book. And the last one is it came out like a couple years ago, 2018, 2019, and that is The Farm by Joanne Ramos. This is, I believe, a mystery thriller. I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that my roommate really liked it. It's written by a Filipina, and I believe it has a Filipino main character, and that's all I need to know. I feel like this video has just been like a chunk. No. There's only been like 3 books that have really been like, I don't know a lot about it. But like, I feel like with these certain books, like if I don't know it, like I haven't read the synopsis very well and I've only been going off of hearsay, or like with people like recommendations, I'm not going to know a lot about it, and that's okay. But that is it for the books that I'm thinking will be 5-star predictions in the year 2021 when I read them. I'm hoping in this year, because like, they all seem like really good books. I just have to go out and buy like the last 5, which is okay. Because like, I'm sure at some point I'm going to be unhauling a couple things on these shelves. But are any of these books on your top 5 predictions from either 2020, 2021, 2018, yada yada yada? Have you read these books before, and were they your 5-star predictions? Or like, did they end up getting a 5-star from you guys? But yeah, on that, I'll hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which should be coming up soon. But until then, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!